So, why an E36? This is a question I've been asking myself quite a lot since the handling issues I've been experiencing with the car, and the fact that I've never had a high-spec BMW in the past. I've always been S-chassis, Sora, MX-5s obviously, basically JDM stuff. So with the E36, it's been a completely different experience for me. I've been struggling with setup. If you want a sort of recap on that, please check the last video out. It was by chance really that this car ended up being my competition car. Me and a friend built it around 8 years ago. He used it for 3 practice days. I sold my part of the car, went down a different route in the end of building another JDM car. So I sold my half of the build to my friend Lee, who I built the car with. He used it for 2 or 3 practice days, and then it sat on his recovery truck for, well, around 8 years. A couple of years ago, he contacted me and said, "It's sitting here doing nothing, would you like to buy it back?" We agreed a price and I bought the car back. Since then, it's had a 2-year rebuild. The car was thrown together quite badly. It had some nice components, but we used all sorts of bits and bobs we both had laying around because the budget was tight at the time. It's had a chassis up rebuild since then, and I've ended up with an E36 comp car, which I still love an S chassis or an MX-5. I've now bought another MX-5. I'm going to build another car alongside this one. The E36 is staying. I'm going to make it handle. I'm going to make it work. I'm determined. So I'll give you a little rundown of the spec, because it is quite a nicely put together car. There are a few bits that are still a little bit rough, like the wiring loom I haven't loomed up properly yet because that was done in a bit of a rush to get the dyno session done. And you know how these things are, once something's done you leave it. A lot of the plumbing is sort of still existing from the original build. That catch can and the catch can lines are off my MX-5, which were recycled off my S13, so they are probably off of 2011. Some of the parts are sort of been recycled from various different cars, whereas a lot of bits are new. Obviously the coil pack setup is new. I've got a 6-boost manifold, turbo smart wastegate, it's got BC264 cams, so it needs a little bit of tidying up around the engine bay still. I want to get rid of the blue hoses and replace with black. I like to use silicone because in the event of a crash they move. If I hadn't had silicone hoses during the Driftland crash, if they were hard pipe they would have all been bent and needed remaking. And the car, I could have got it fixed in a 5-minute rule because the hoses move. If they'd been hard pipe that wouldn't have been fixable in a 5-minute rule. Not that I went down that route, but just as an example. It's got my own steering angle kit on it, just chopped knuckles. I drew up some steel, I drew up a drawer to have some steel arms laser cut. So yeah, they were all laser cut. Had some steering arm spacers machined, and the steering angle is quite extreme. I've tried various different steering angle kits on BMWs and I don't like the feel of them. Wisefab being the one that sticks in my mind. I mean, it was only a low spec car that I tried it on, but I just didn't like the way it felt, so I decided to make my own kit, and that seems to work very, very well. Interior, there's a bit of a mess in here. I've still got all the junk from the last round. So a nice big link screen that has just been temporarily mounted. I need to make myself a nice 3D printed surround and mount for that. My Davis Craig electric water pump controller, and a big tablet screen to keep my ADHD happy so I can watch the live stream while I'm in the queue. Waiting for my runs in the back. Rear mount radiator set up with the Davis Craig water pump down there. Twin 044 fuel pumps, and I appear to have a leak from somewhere. That's a new one. What is that? That's oil. I don't know where that's come from. Oh well, that's something for me to investigate. Yeah, Mishimoto twin pass radiator. I made my own fan cowling, designed that, 3D modelled it, printed it up in sectional pieces of 3D print, glued it together and then back moulded it in fiberglass. Got 2 fans on the back. It's got a M3 rear end, diff shafts, trailing arms, etc. BC coilovers. Currently on 10 kg springs at the back, but I'm going to try 6. I've also ordered a rear anti-roll bar, so hopefully that will resolve the handling issues for this round. So yeah, I'll drop a few pictures of the car in its various different stages of build, because this thing has been, I think, 5 different colours since I've owned it, and various different sort of stages. There's been different specs, so I'll drop a few pictures of that now. So this is when we originally finished the car, when we were both owners. Then Lee bought the car and decided he'd like to make it his own, so we sprayed it blue. This is when I collected the car back from Lee after 8 years, stripped it back down to a bare shell, cut all the impact protection off and decided to make some improvements. The rear was removed as well, improved the cage and reinforced the subframe mounting points, reinforced all the suspension mounting points, added an HM Sport aero kit, filled that horrible BMW hole, flipped it upside down and painted the whole shell in Raptor paint. Found it's ever so hard wearing and really does look quite nice. Then slowly started to build the car back up again, improving parts as I could along the way, and then sprayed it in the green colour that I've used for the last few years. I'll just circle back to the leak because I've figured out what it is. So my nice clear fuel resistant hose, it seems, is fuel resistant, not fuel proof. Since I've jacked the car up, the fuel is sort of overfilling up the pipe, and I think it's melting the pipe because it's clearly coming from the underside of that and it's not fuel. So yeah, I'll have to find a better solution for that one. It's nice to add that because you can see as you're filling up when it's full. I was reliant upon listening to it bubbling back up the pipe. When you're in a sort of pit environment and it's very noisy, you can't hear it at all. So I added the piece of plastic pipes, you know, clear pipes, so you could see when it's full. Great addition, but obviously I found a problem there, so that needs to be resolved. So yeah, the changes for round 3. I'm trying to approach this in a kind of methodical manner because change too much at once and you don't know what has improved things and what made things worse. So the tyres have been mentioned. I've had a discussion with a couple of people that said that they were causing all sorts of inconsistencies, but I've decided to stick with them for now. I just don't want to change too much at once. I've ordered 4 kg springs for the back, which I think will be too soft, and some 6 kgs, which I've got a feeling will be perfect. I've also ordered the rear anti-roll bar, which I'm going to put on the car but not connect to begin with. I'll swap the springs over first to the 6 kg and then try the car and see how it feels and see if that has created a sort of meaningful improvement. If it still doesn't feel quite right, then I'll try connecting the anti-roll bar, and if it still doesn't feel quite right, I think I will buy just a pair of tyres just to try something different when I get there. None of this is ideal really. I need a test and setup day to resolve all these problems, but how life is, time, money, trying to do so much as well with, you know, changing the turbo setup, work constraints. It just is the way it is. So I'm just going to have to struggle through this season until I find a resolution to the problem, and that'll sort of set me up well for next year.